Let's talk about experimentation. Experimentation is a structured process to validate hypotheses of value creation. In fact, this is it. We have to be able to manage risk when doing new things. Trying to spend minimum resources while managing a high level of uncertainty. Making use of systematic testing using different tools to provide feedback regarding the technical, market, and organizational feasibility of a certain solution before a significant amount of resource is needed. The practice of such mindset in established companies, in big companies as Braskem, naturally face challenges. I would pinpoint three main challenges. The first is a mindset challenge. We tend to look for predictability on what we do. I mean, our goal is to assure that everything will turn out as previously imagined, because this is the way large companies are structured, and this is the right approach to manage existing businesses, where we need operation efficiency and predictability. On the other hand, when we are trying to make new things, we face higher uncertainty, and this demand for predictability should be moderated, otherwise the organization chooses not to try anything new. The second challenge is our project management approach, which is pretty much based on financial analysis, the use of tools like discounted cash flow and detailed long-term planning. When we are in a situation where you deal with a high level of uncertainty, the assumptions that you put in a spreadsheet, for example, price, volume, adoption rate, costs, they are hypotheses that should be tested in small scale before a huge commitment of resources. An emblematic case of wrong conventional approach in innovation contest is the case of Iridium venture of Motorola for a cell phone mobile development in the early 90s. Iridium fundraised more than $1 billion, and when it was launched, some of the assumptions of the solution had changed, and the failure to test them previously led to very important financial losses. The third and last challenge is the challenge of dealing with failure. But failure under controlled situation can be a great option, because in this situation, failure is the raw material for refinement in your idea. In this case, this is the good failure. The error that came from a hypothesis test and an exploratory test, a pilot test, where you disconfirm a hypothesis or deal with an unexpected event. On the other hand, the error in an environment where we search for predictability and operation excellence, it's a dysfunction and must not be fostered. But companies are not organized to understand and manage differently these two different kinds of failures. A very common approach to test and experiment new ideas is the physical prototype. It's the prototype of a product, for example, the Google Glass, a glass developed by Google that did not show the expected results. So when you are trying to develop an idea, a physical prototype can be very useful to capture insights from your target customer, so she can handle with the physical prototype in a user test and bring questions and make complaints about. The physical prototype is one interesting experimentation strategy. A second way to experiment is to develop a landing page or an explaining video. Instead of developing the solution, you set up a website. This is very affordable with free platforms, and add information about your idea or the problem you want to solve, and invite users to access the website and sometimes sign in a newsletter to receive further information or even purchase the solution although it's not ready. Dropbox, for example, made an explaining video of how the solution would work before it existed. And as soon as the video was posted in technology communities and it had an exponential leap viewers of this video, the Dropbox leadership understood that there were evidence of user interest. This is a very interesting second experimentation strategy. The third alternative is the development of a digital functional prototype. very useful for digital solutions. In this case, the user can click in some features and you can follow the user in this journey and capture insights. For example, for a digital solution like an app, it's very common to make a first clickable version, but not totally developed, to share the solution with a reduced group of users and follow how they experience the solution to identify the pains the user has by testing certain hypotheses you have about that solution. A fourth alternative is to make a brochure that tells about your idea and allow the user to handle it so you can capture insights from the end user. The brochure is very simple, cheap, and easy to develop. Another alternative is the A/B test. Have you already heard about? In this strategy, you make your idea available to a test and a control group with different features and then compare the results from control and test groups as performed by pharmaceutical industries in the process of developing new drugs. And finally, one last type of experimentation is the pilot project, where you really develop the solution in a small scale and make it available for a small group to handle it with limited features and then capture insights about the solution. I would say that this is a menu to practice the MVP, minimal viable product concept, and capture user insights to validate and refine your idea.